No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you.
When every boy realizes no one's coming to save him, and that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
Nobody cares about you. And I mean that in the most positive, optimistic, inspiring, motivating way. You think that everybody's paying attention. And because of that, it kind of controls how you think. And the reality is nobody gives a shit. Everybody is so focused on themselves in this world. Nobody has time for you.
Nobody is coming. Not later. Not when you feel ready. Not when life finally becomes easier. Nobody is secretly preparing to rescue the future you keep neglecting. And the reason that truth feels violent is because some part of you has spent years waiting anyway, waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment to finally become disciplined. Meanwhile, life keeps moving like a train that never stops for hesitation. And one day, you look up and realize something terrifying. You are still living a life you promised yourself was temporary. There's a man somewhere right now waking up before sunrise to an alarm he no longer even reacts to emotionally. His hand reaches for the phone automatically. Scroll, delete the alarm. Another morning disappears before his feet touch the floor. And the frightening part? Nothing about that moment feels dramatic. That's how people lose decades. Quietly. No explosion. No movie scene. Just repetition. Powerful. Enough to slowly erase ambition. There's an odd phrase used by Roman philosophers. A man conquers the world by first conquering himself. Modern people reverse that completely. They try to change their lives without changing their habits. Try to build confidence without discipline. Try to build peace or addicted to distraction. And then wonder why they feel internally fractured all the time. Because self-betrayal creates noise. Every broken promise leaves evidence. Your mind remembers. That's why some people feel exhausted before the day even begins. Not because life is impossible, because deep down, they know they are losing a war against themselves repeatedly. There's a story about Samurai who visited a monkey asking how to remove fear from his mind before battle. The monk told him, "You misunderstand fear. Fear is not your enemy. Attachment to comfort is." That line explains modern life perfectly. Most people are not trapped by fear itself. They are trapped by their addiction to avoid discomfort. That's why they stay stuck in jobs they hate, relationships draining them, habits quietly destroying them. Comfort becomes a prison people decorate, and the human mind adapts frighteningly fast. You can normalize almost anything: loneliness, mediocrity, procrastination, wasted potential. If you repeat it long enough, that's the real danger of staying stuck. Not pain, adaptation. Eventually, your dreams stop feeling urgent. Then they stop feeling possible. Then they stop visiting you entirely. And one day, you realize you haven't truly felt alive in years. There is a father somewhere right now standing silently in his kitchen at midnight after everyone has gone to sleep. His child believes he's strong, but deep down, he knows he's been losing to his own excuses for years. That image destroys me because it's invisible suffering. No one sees the internal collapse. People still go to work, still smile, still function. Meanwhile, their inner life slowly rots from neglected responsibility. And responsibility is heavy because once you fully accept it, excuses stop comforting you emotionally. You can no longer blame motivation or childhood or bad timing or fear. At some point, you realize, my future is being built by what I repeat daily. That realization changes people permanently. There's a psychological experiment where researchers discovered something terrifying. People would rather receive electric shocks than sit alone quietly with their own thoughts. Think about that carefully. Human beings became so disconnected from themselves. Silence felt unbearable. Now look around. Notifications every minute. Music in every silence. Scrolling during meals. Videos before sleep. Modern people are drowning themselves in stimulation because stimulation prevents confrontation, and confrontation is painful. because eventually you must face the truth. Nobody ruined your life faster than your excuses. Not failure. Excuses. Failure teaches. Excuses repeat. That's why intelligent people often suffer the most, because intelligent people can explain their self-destruction beautifully. They call procrastination preparation. They call fear thinking carefully. They call stagnation figuring things out. Meanwhile, years disappear. There's a reason military commanders throughout history burned their own ships after arriving on enemy land. No retreat, no escape, no alternative. Because humans becomes dangerous when survival demands commitment. Modern people leave themselves too many exits. One more distraction, one more delay, one more excuse. That's why discipline stays weak, because comfort is always available, and comfort is expensive. It costs ambition, focus, intensity, self-respect, time, especially time. There are people right now still mentally living in the same year they promised themselves they would change. Think about how terrifying that is. The body moved forward. The identity never did. That's why late nights hit differently. You stay at the ceiling and suddenly feel the weight of your own potential pressing against your chest. You think about who you could have become if you had started earlier, committed earlier, stopped escaping earlier, and maybe the most painful part is this. Deep down, you already know what's needed to change. You have known for a long time. You know the habits destroying you. You know the distractions stealing your focus. You know the excuses you keep recycling. You know. And that's why this hits. Because self-awareness without action becomes torture. There's a point where consuming more advice becomes another form of avoidance, another delay, another emotional escape disguised as growth. At some point, you don't need more information. You need confrontation. You need movement. You need to become difficult to destroy. Not motivated, dangerous. Dangerous to your excuses. Dangerous to your old habits. Dangerous to the version of yourself that keeps choosing comfort over growth. That transformation begins the moment your excuses stop sounding intelligent to you. The moment you finally become disgusted by your own repetition. That's when people change. Not when inspiration arrives, when denial collapses. And maybe the hardest truth of all is this. Nobody is coming to save your future. The person who saves you will have to be the version of you willing to suffer long enough to rebuild your life deliberately, alone if necessary, especially if necessary, because one day you meet the consequences of your daily habits face to face. Not your intentions, your repetition. And when that moment arrives, you will either meet someone your discipline built or someone your excuses created.